Tonight in a theme that rhymes. God, work with my mind. Get me prepared for what you have for me. There are many of you, you don't have things tonight that you should have. Therefore, who should already be possessing certain things tonight, but you don't have it. You don't have it. And the reason you don't have it is your mind. Now the Chaldeans are besieging Jerusalem. Yet Jeremiah knows with you, God, there is still nothing that's too hard. And so God again begins to stir the heart, if you will, of Jeremiah. Because no matter what's happening in the world, God has true prophets, true prophetess that he will speak to. I say he'll get a word to his people. Come on. Some of you know that at your lowest point, God talked with you. He dealt. Don't act like that. You wouldn't be here now if he wouldn't have dealt with you while you was in your mess. Come on. That's a word for somebody. While you was in your mess, he dealt with you. And I thank God he dealt with me in my mess. Listen, because there were a whole lot of folk that didn't want to deal with me in my mess because they couldn't help my mess. And so when you drop down and you notice verse 26, the word of the Lord is coming again to Jeremiah, who's shut up in prison. Jeremiah is in prison because King Zedekiah, the king of Judah, don't like Jeremiah's prophecies. He's upset with Jeremiah because Jeremiah won't prophesy to him that there will be peace in the city, that nothing is going to happen to Jerusalem. But see, a true prophet can't speak that which is false. See, I can't declare something that's not true just to make you happy. Because if I do it, I become false. And you ought to thank God for having a true prophet. Don't always tell you what you want to hear, but I'm going to always tell you what God wants you to hear. That's the reason I got the word for today. And so Zedekiah done threw Jeremiah in prison for not speaking good, even though Israel in sin. And see, part of the job of a prophet is to lift his voice like a trumpet. And God says, show my people their sins. Show them their transgressions. Show them what they're doing that angers me. Show them what they're saying that angers me. Show them where they're going that angers me. And so he comes to Jeremiah in verse 26. The word of the Lord came to Jeremiah saying, behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. He's letting Jeremiah know all souls belong to me, Jeremiah. I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. So all souls belong to me. Everybody is not a child of God, but everybody is a creation of God, because all souls belong to God. He even said, and the soul that sins will surely die. Is there anything too hard for me? Jeremiah had said previously, Lord, there's nothing too hard for you. Now God says to Jeremiah, is there anything too hard for me, Jeremiah? When you have the right answer to this question, it should do two things to your faith. Number one, it should strengthen your faith. Number two, it should stir your faith. Did y'all hear what I said? When you have the right answer to this question, then it can't help but to strengthen, build your faith in the one in whom you serve. It can't help but to stir your faith. See, I don't care what you're going through this morning. If you got the right answer to this question, then you know despite what you are going through, Teach it, Pastor. And how long you've been going through it. You know there's one person that ain't nothing too hard for him. No problem too big. No disease too bad. No financial trouble. Notice what he says. I got to close it. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, this is what he tells Jeremiah, I will give this city into the hand of the Chaldeans, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall take it. He gonna take the city, Jeremiah. But I want you to remember that with me, there is nothing too hard. When it comes to the word hard, is there anything too hard for God? Number one, we are saying, is there anything that's too difficult for God to handle? Is there anything that is too difficult for God to handle? Number two, we are asking, is there anything that's too complicated for God? Because you know life can get complicated. Oh, come on, y'all. There are problems that you deal with that can not just be a problem, but it can be a complicated problem. Y'all shouldn't even act like that, because all problems that we face, we know good and well we don't always have the solution. We don't always have the solution. And even there are problems that we will look at it and think we have the solution. But then when we contemplate putting this solution into action, it seems as if the problem, once we do what we thought we could do to solve it, I don't know if y'all ever dealt with a problem like that, but then it seems like the problem gets even more complicated. Ooh, there's somebody this morning, you're not just dealing with problems, but they're very complicated. Can I teach it this morning? Problems that are complicated can even be to the point to where it's hard to explain to people all the different dynamics that go into this problem. You ever tried to explain where you was to somebody and they kept saying stuff like, well, all you got to do is just do. You're like, no, you don't understand. See, I can't do that because. And at the same time, while this is going on, I'm also dealing with this right here. And if I do that, then I know this going to happen right here. Sometimes we need to get real. There are problems that are complicated. Finally, is there anything that's too complex for God? Is there anything that God does not understand? Hopefully we know that there is nothing too difficult for God. Hopefully we know there is nothing too complicated for God. Hopefully we've learned that there is nothing too complex for God. But the same cannot be said for man. Because when we flip this question and we ask, is there anything too hard for man? Now the answer changes. I said it changes. Because we know that there are things, no matter how smart we are, that are too difficult for us to handle. Come on. I know this morning, without needing y'all's opinion, that I am an intelligent man. I know I'm an intelligent man. I know that I'm not a dumb man. Woo, I'm not a dumb man in any area of my life. I know that I am intelligent. You know why? Because he has made me to be intelligent. No way you gonna faithfully serve God and be dumb. No, he gonna make you. Come on, somebody. His knowledge, his understanding will make you smarter than what you really are. Oh, I got to preach this one. What he tells you in prayer will make you look real good when you carry out his instructions. Whoa! How did she know to do that? God told her in prayer what to do. And whenever you do what God tells you to do, in the end you're going to look real good. I wish I had somewhere. You gonna look real smart, real intelligent. Oh, but this intelligence didn't come from Google, didn't come from social media, didn't come from the internet. I'm not a product of what you can find online, but I'm a product of what happens when you get on the main line. Y'all don't remember that song? Jesus on the main line. Call him up. Too many of us are online and ain't on the main line. Be seated. And that's what's got me. Don't get mad at me. Not to the point where you leave. Hear the whole message. If you choose not to come back, that's up to you. But part of what has some of us looking dumb is that you don't realize there are some things too difficult for you. You don't even realize the problem you're dealing with right now, that's too complicated for you to solve. You don't have the answers. Woo-wee. Somebody just sitting there, they thinking, they like, did he just call me dumb? To my face, did he tell me that? But see, what you have to understand is that as human beings, it equates limited beings. The smartest of the smartest man compared to God is a dummy.